Hi. So, most of you don't know me. Only my friends know me. So you don't know me. But if you looked for this word and you've come to this video, um, you know why we're here. And I'm sorry that you're looking through this because it means that you think you might have fibromyalgia or you've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia about 3 months ago. I'm Emma, by the way. I'm 34 years old. And I was diagnosed 3 months ago, as I told you. And it wasn't an easy diagnosis. It took 34 years for me to be diagnosed with it. And only one doctor who actually believed that I was in pain. All the other doctors, they thought that I was making it up. They thought that I was just depressed and I needed to go out more, have a boyfriend, party with my friends, and all of that. Let me start by saying what fibromyalgia is, for those who don't know it. Fibromyalgia causes pain throughout the body. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it doesn't leave marks on the body, not on the bones or on the nerves, not visible ones anyway. You have the pain. You have a lower tolerance to pain, from what I understand. So you have pain, but you can't see it because your bones and your joints and your muscles, they're okay. You're okay. Even your blood tests, they come out normal. But you're in pain. You're in pain. And it causes pain all over the body. It causes mandibular pain. It causes pain on your bones, on your joints, on your muscles. It causes brain fog. It causes depression, anxiety, and also sleep problems and being tired all the time. Also headaches, a lot of things. And it's why it's hard to diagnose it as well. And in my case, I was in pain since I can remember. I have a story of autoimmune diseases in my family, and my grandmother had rheumatoid arthritis. I hope I'm saying that well. And she was in a lot of pain. She suffered it from arthritis for 30 years. And the last years of her life were horrible. She had to stop working because of it. She eventually stopped walking. She eventually got stuck in a bed and she couldn't do much. The last year of her life, she was stuck in a bed looking at the TV. My grandmother, who always wanted to go out and loved shopping, was stuck on a bed staring at the TV because she didn't have the strength to be up and walking. Yeah, so sorry about that. Getting a little emotional here. So yeah, I knew the reality of autoimmune diseases. And to be honest, I knew that there was a high probability of me having arthritis or lupus or anything else. So I was ready from a young age for that diagnosis to come. But the thing is, it didn't. And I was in pain since I can remember. When I was little, my grandmother would, on Saturdays, she would love shop. She loved shopping, and she would take me shopping with her. And we had to take a little bus and go to the shopping street in our town, which is Porto in Portugal. It's a beautiful street. And I took the bus that was right in front of our house, and I would get out of the bus and I would walk for 5 minutes, and I would turn to my grandmother and say, "Grandma, can we go home? My feet hurt and I'm really, really tired." And my family was just, they didn't understand because I was so young, and how could I be in pain? She was like, "How can you be in pain? We just got here. You're a little child. You should be filled with energy and wanting to run around and stuff like that." And I was never like that. I had a lot of pain on my feet, my back, and everything. And it got worse throughout the years. So I kept going to the doctors. My family is my rock, and they always believed me. So they kept taking me to doctors, internal medicine doctors, bone doctors, all of that. When I went to the doctors, one of them would tell me that I had what's called, I had, instead of flat foot, I had the exact opposite. So my foot wasn't flat, and it isn't. It made an arch, like a big arch. And the top of my foot would arch so much that sometimes I couldn't put on shoes because the arch was too big. And I've had that problem ever since, even as a grown-up wearing heels. Some heels I couldn't wear them because my arch was too high. I think it's called cavos, pés cavos. They told me it was that, so that's why I was in pain. And they told me, "Oh, you have to have surgery and cut the tendon under your feet." I was very scared when they told me that, and I said, no, thank you, I'll deal with that. I've lived with pain for this long, I can handle it. Then I went to other doctors. They told me I had depression. They told me I was depressed, and okay, I accepted it. I was 21 when I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. It never went away. So, and the stigma associated with mental diseases made it so that every time that I went to the hospital to complain, and I told them that I was taking medication for depression, they would say that, "Well, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. It's just depression talking." So the pains are depression. Everything was depression. I developed irritable bowel syndrome. That was depression. It's like she's limping. It's depression. She has pain on her back. It's depression. Her hair stands out. It's depression. I don't want to say bad things about doctors, but I think the stigma still exists, and I think it's not fair for people who are suffering from mental diseases. Just because you have a mental disease, it doesn't mean that you can't have something else. It doesn't mean that you can just ignore the other symptoms just because you have depression or you have schizophrenia or whatever you have that is mental. Just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean that you can't have anything else. So all the doctors just ignored everything that I said until this summer. I've had a few flares. That's what you call when you have a bad crisis, when it gets really bad. So I had a few flares throughout the years, but I always thought, I slept in the wrong position, I didn't sit the right way, whatever. I was always stretching, like my arms and my neck and all of that. And I was always stretching, and I was raised to believe that I shouldn't stretch in front of other people because that's rude. But I couldn't help it because I was in pain and I had to crack my back, or I had to crack my neck, or I had to crack something else. So I just had to do it. It wasn't possible for me not to do it. I had to do it. But this year in summer, it got really bad. It got to a point that I could barely move. I had so much pain in my legs and my knee joints. My feet were swollen. My hands were swollen, and I couldn't do this. I couldn't open a bottle of water, you know? I couldn't do this, to drink water, because I was in so much pain. I couldn't pick anything up. So I started using my elbows to do that. I'm going to be honest with you, even going to the bathroom was excruciating. Just sitting down and even putting my pants down was excruciating. So when my mom saw that, she was very frightened, especially due to our family history and my grandma. But we kept thinking, I'm 34. No, it can't be. After a few days of arguing with my mom that it's going to go away, and it didn't, we went to the doctor. We went to a rheumatologist. I could barely walk, and the moment I walked in and I sat down, I told him the pains I had, my symptoms, and he asked me 7 questions. I don't remember all the questions, I'm going to be honest, but a few questions were, do you have migraines? Do you have pain? Do you have trouble sleeping? Do you have depression or anxiety? Things like that. There are more questions, but I'm sorry, I can't remember. And I said yes to all of them because that was the truth. And he told me, well, you have fibromyalgia. And me and my mom, we were shocked. But a part of me was extremely relieved. This is going to sound crazy probably, but I was so relieved. Especially when he told me, I know you are in pain. And I know that pain is not in your head. You are in pain. You are in a lot of pain. And I am going to help you with that. And that was the first time that a doctor actually believed that I had physical symptoms and that it wasn't just my head. Because at that point, I started to think that I was crazy. Everybody told me it was my head. I had to be crazy, right? I mean, if nothing is wrong with me, then I just had to be crazy. And when he told me you have fibromyalgia and you are in pain, you are in a lot of pain, but we are going to take care of that. And you're going to be able to have a better life. And I was so grateful, and I still am. I am very grateful to my doctor for believing in me and helping me. Fibromyalgia is a disease that doesn't go away. It's something I will have to live with for the rest of my life. And that's a heavy sentence to know that you're going to have this for the rest of your life. You're not going to be normal. Normal. But the relief that the painkillers brought me, it was heaven. I mean, even my personality changed after that, because I was always so tense that you get so tense from being in pain all the time that your personality changes. You argue more, and you're, I'm sorry, pissed off most of the time. And that's what makes people think that it's depression. And that's what makes depression show up in people with fibromyalgia. That's what makes anxiety show up, because that's one of the things I've noticed after I was diagnosed. It was like I was laying in bed and I thought, am I going to be able to get out of bed today and walk? Which is something that you don't think about, you just do it. And being able to get out of bed and walk was a blessing. And not be in pain all day. But let me assure you one thing, it didn't go away. I know it didn't go away. I take the pills every day. And I know you can feel it in yourself where it's supposed to hurt that day. It just doesn't hurt. It's like it's numb, it's sleeping, but you know where it's supposed to hurt. And there are some days when, even with medication, it hurts. And medication isn't all. You need to exercise, you need to do acupuncture, you need to do activities that are stress relievers, like yoga and Pilates and all of that. Meditation, it helps. So basically, doctor's orders were try not to be stressed, which is not easy in itself. That's what I've been doing. I've been trying to adjust to this new life, if you can say that. It's not easy, and now I have to be careful. I have to remind myself that things have changed a bit. And I thought of doing this video and this channel to actually help people who are going through the same. So I'm going to be documenting my journey through fibromyalgia, and I'm going to be talking about other things also, depression, anxiety. I would love to hear your stories as well. I showed up here today with no makeup, no hair done, and I want to show the real life, the real side of things. It's not pretty, but it's our life. And we can do this. I mean, I can do this, and you'll be able to do that as well. You know, we're going to be able to get through this and come out the other side better. At least knowing that we're not alone. And that's important in itself. It's very important knowing that you're not alone, because it's scary. It's a scary thing to be diagnosed with a chronic disease. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions that you want me to answer, please leave it in the comments down below, and I will make a video answering them. I didn't want to make it a long video because you'd be bored. We're together. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you on the next one.